Sprinters obsess over their reaction time and top end speed, but never ask how much work are they wasting in between. Let's cut the fluff. You really don't need another motivational quote. You need output, and that's why you're on this video. My name is Lawrence Ello Johnson, a professional sprinter, multiple-time All-American, and also just placed top 10 at the USA Championships. Over the past year, I've decided to open up my one-on-one training program, and every athlete that consistently trained past 6 months got a PR in at least one of their events. So when I tell you that this works, I truly mean it. I show it on a consistent basis as an athlete and as a coach. So let's dive in. You don't need the perfect conditions. You aren't perfect. No one's perfect. You don't need the perfect playlist, and you don't need the perfect spikes. But what you do need is real output. It's about volume times leverage. And once you understand that, you will finally stop wasting your efforts on routines, training programs that look good, but don't actually move the needle. Because elite athletes don't do more. They do what matters at scale, under stress, without the random bull crap that you usually see online. So let's get into it. What is real speed work? You say you're grinding, but grinding on what? If your output is low, you're not working, you're just moving. And most athletes say they're working hard, but can't define what that actually means. Is it time spent? Is it effort exerted? Is it how tired you are afterwards? Because none of these actually measure progress. So if you can train hard for 4 hours and still run slower, that means you can also go hard and still be slow. So what is the missing metric? Because work equals your output, but your output is equal to your volume times your leverage as a sprinter. Let me explain. Volume is the number of reps you run each session with, such as other type of exposures. Leverage, though, is the power and quality behind each one of these. So if you want to sprint faster, you need more quality reps or volume under conditions that actually mimic your competition level, which is also known as your leverage. So here's the reality check. Effort is cheap, but execution is rare. And I've honestly experienced this firsthand. In the final of the 100-meter dash this year at the USA Championships, my execution was horrible, and I ran the worst race I ran all year from an execution standpoint. I would give it a D-. I still end up running 10:13 that race, but unfortunately, it was the worst execution I had all year when it matters the most. So it happens to us, it even happened to me as a professional athlete. So if you're not measuring your outputs every week, you're ultimately just guessing, and you won't be able to come to that conclusion like I just did about my race this season. And guessing is the slowest way to stay fast. If you're guessing, that's the slowest way to get fast because it's not measurable. So this is why you're not gaining. Most sprinters hit a plateau not because they lack effort, but because they're allergic to volume. Right? Athletes who do anything except the same thing enough to actually master it are the ones that stay slow. They will change their warm-ups every week. They'll bounce from new program every month. But here's the proof, right? I've seen sprinters who can run 10-0, run the same 3 drills every single week for years. The question is why? It's because each rep truly builds rhythm. So if you want to become unreasonably good at acceleration, you need to attack it with unreasonable repetition. Not random exercise, but focused outputs. So here's what you should do. Pick 1 to 2 elements of your race that limit you and attack them 4 times a week minimum. And here's an additional tip I'm gonna throw in there. You don't need more novelty. You need to go deeper in the mastery of the same bucket. Because most people never break through because they quit after 1 rep before the rhythm actually settles in. So here's what you should do. You should trade perfection for progress. Perfect weather, perfect playlist, your perfect track. If that's what it takes for you to perform, you're just a hobbyist. Because true dogs don't wait for conditions. They create momentum. from chaos. Truly, this past year, I learned that championship races don't care how primed you feel. The podium doesn't care if your warm-up routine was interrupted. So ditch the perfectionism and start showing up at 70% and still executing at 100% focus. Because this is how champions are made. It's not by being perfect, but by being present. So every imperfect session is your deposit in your confidence bank. And when the game day comes, when it's time to race, if that dog doesn't need comfort to perform, it just needs a lane, you will absolutely kill the competition because all you need is your spikes in your lane. Your calendar is full, but your development is empty. Too many sprinters are busy, but not productive. They're in the weight room, on the track, in the ice baths, but not moving forward because you don't need more modalities. You need more meaningful output. So simplify your plan to these 3 questions. Am I exposing myself to max velocity weekly? Am I recovering well enough to repeat that? And am I tracking real progress? If the answer isn't yes to all 3 of these things, you're not working, you're distracting yourself. And honestly, real talk here, before chasing optimization without chasing mastery, you're ultimately scamming yourself. So don't fall for it. Every hour you spend stressing over meals, chores, errands is an hour somebody else spent is getting faster and better than you. Because we all have 24 hours in a day. I trained an athlete that was a 3-sport athlete, worked a job, and still went D1 for track and field. So we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but everyone don't get the same output for these 24 hours. So here's some proof. The top pros outsource what doesn't grow them, right? I'm not trying to be a nutritionist. I'm not trying to be a strength coach. I'm not trying to be a sprint coach. I have a sprint coach for that. I have a strength coach for that. I have a nutritionist for that. And I have a physiotherapist for that. My job is to drive this car at the highest level of execution I can. And if you don't believe me, Usain Bolt he wasn't trying to be a nutritionist. He wasn't trying to be his own coach. So why should the athlete watching this video, which is you, think that you could train yourself when the best in the game aren't doing it? So look at your week. What 5 to 10 hours are getting eaten up by things that don't affect your performance? Cut them and then delegate them and then eliminate them. So every Sunday, audit your schedule like a coach. Audit your film. And if it doesn't move the needle, it doesn't stay. It's that simple. And that's how you make real work matters. You're not slow because you aren't talented. You're behind because somebody else has more focused and they've done it over a longer period of time. Because you can't fake outputs, you can't shortcut exposure, and you can't be someone who out-reps you. So here's my promise. If you want to earn those breakthroughs with focused, repeatable work under pressure, don't chase fancy drills. Don't chase extra reps. Get obsessed with what actually works and then do more of it and then refine it. Because if you want to win, you need to work like you're already behind. Because the dogs don't train more. They train with more clarity, mission clarity, and they know exactly what they need to do to get the job accomplished. So send this to a teammate that's always grinding but never improving. Let's redefine what's real and what actual real sprint training looks like, because I'm tired of seeing all of this mess all over the internet. If you found this video helpful and you want to continuously get faster, you can click the link in the description and join my free community of all sprinters working together to get faster for free. But if you want one-on-one help by me and my team, you can book a discovery call with the second link in the description so we can look deeper into your situation and try to point you in a direction that can best help you. Subscribe, like the video, and I see you in the next one.